Alright, ghouls and ghoulettes, I just got done watching Scream 6 or Scream. Holy shit, that is an amazing coincidence that the M can also turn into a Roman numeral 6. Now, originally I was supposed to attend the premiere here in Sydney on Wednesday night, but I was flying back from Mauritius, so I tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible, and I finally saw it here in Sydney with my two best mates from high school, and the three of us have obsessed over Scream since we met in high school. So we finally saw it tonight, Saturday night. I walked out of there, so this is going to be a very spoiler-free review. Spoiler-free is a very subjective thing. Some people think minor spoilers is okay, and then there are other people that just say something and someone considers it a spoiler. So again, I'll try and keep it as vague as possible. So the basic premise for Scream 6 is we have Sam and Tara from the previous film that came out last year, and I just cannot believe it's already been a year since Scream 5 had come out from Radio Silence. They've relocated to New York a year after the events of Scream 5. They are also joined by Chad and Mindy, who are also relatives of Randy from the previous Scream films. So obviously the setting is in the Big Apple, and then Ghostface killings start happening and reignite that fear and that PTSD in Sam and Tara, and then obviously hilarity ensues. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk about the positives of this film. I love the setting in New York. It's something different from Woodsboro, yet at the same time, you think it would take away from the claustrophobia of Woodsboro, but I don't think so. I still think it's quite claustrophobic even though you're in the Big Apple, but also at the same time, the Big Apple is fucking intimidating. I've been to New York 3 times. It's an intimidating city. To have Ghostface in there is brilliant. It's a great concept. And then, perfect segue, going to Ghostface, this is without a doubt the most brutal and tactile Ghostface I have ever seen. The killings are the most brutal I have ever seen in the Scream franchise. Like, they do not hold back Radio Silence when it comes to the gore, the effects, the kills. My only gripe with the kills is there is really no logic with some of the kills. Like, so many people should have died but survived. Obviously, I won't name who, but there are a lot of people that get wounds inflicted upon them that involve a buck 120 and they should not be walking, yet they're able to run and, you know, bounce about. But in this case, I think you have to suspend disbelief at this point because, I hate to say it, I feel like the Scream franchise is becoming like the Fast and the Furious franchise. Remember when the Fast and the Furious was just about stealing VCRs and fast cars and then they end up going into space? By the third act, by the reveal of Ghostface at the end of this film, it just got fucking batshit silly and it just lost me. Keep in mind, before that, even the opening with a red herring, which I'm not going to go into detail about, I thought it was great. I love this Ghostface. I still love the fact that they had Sam, Tara, they had Mindy, they had Chad. Few new characters here and there. I love that they continued their arc from Scream 5. But the reveal and after, it just got so silly. And it's so weird. Whenever there's the reveal, the person who's Ghostface is always batshit crazy. Like, and the motives for Ghostface at the end of this film just too far-fetched. Like, way too far-fetched. Like, again, like the first Fast and the Furious and the first Scream, it was just so simple. Perfect example, when I was listening to the motives of the killer at the end of this film, it was like Alan in The Hangover. That one shot at the end where he's gambling and he's got all the algorithms going through his head. I'm trying to piece all this shit together. I'm like, yeah, carry the one. I just feel the ending could have been so much better in terms of a motive and a reveal, but it just got really fucking silly. Now, if you guys have seen the trailers, obviously you know that the shrine exists, and it was so cool to see all those Easter eggs and the authenticity, the care that was put into all those props. It was so cool to see more shots of them as opposed to the trailer where we just see a quick few shots. And I mentioned that there's a red herring at the beginning of the film, and it's quite different to a lot of the openings of the previous Scream films, and I like that. They dared to be different. Radio Silence really caught me off guard. I really dug that. The score and the sound design are fucking amazing and brutal. Like, it pairs so well with the action that's going on. It's very fast paced. You can feel the stabs, you can feel the hits, the punches. Keep in mind, Ghostface takes way too many smashes to the face and just keeps going. Like, again, you just have to suspend disbelief. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor in weathering. That's it. But I'm pretty sure if you get stabbed in the gut and it goes up, you can't stand anymore. And yet some characters are just bouncing around like nothing happened. Now, I tried to not watch too many reviews so it wouldn't influence how I felt on the film, and I did watch Jeremy Johns' review. I did watch the FlickPix quick little review, and it was pretty spot on. The end, the reveal is very in vein of Scooby-Doo. It just got really really silly. And I don't know how to feel about it. You know how I try to have a positive attitude with everything Ghouls and Ghoulettes. And again, the first act, the second act were fantastic. The New York setting is brilliant. The score is brilliant. The sound design. Ghostface is fucking brutal as, man. Like, this is the most badass version of Ghostface I've ever seen. Just, they do not hold back. The gore is intense. It's the most goriest Scream film I have ever seen. And I think it's the most goriest in the franchise, if I may say so myself. Just from that reveal onwards, at the end of the film in the third act, you lost me, man. There was just too much going on. You lost that simplicity that the first film and the first couple of films had. Like, is it gonna get to the point where Ghostface is gonna end up in space? Bottom line, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, I definitely enjoyed this more than Scream 5. I feel like Radio Silence had definitely found their footing this time around. They've got that momentum. I still feel like with Scream 5, they were kind of feeling their footing. It was their first outing doing a Scream film. First act, second act, absolutely brilliant. The New York setting works. You're in the Big Apple. It's a scary city, and you've got Ghostface there, who is more brutal, more tactile, more agile. There's some clever writing in there with who you think the killer is, and then it's a red herring, and then it's not who you think it is. The dialogue is very meta, very self-aware, which is totally fine. Again, it's just from the reveal onwards, the ending of the film that just let me scratching my head and just being like, ah. Look, at the same time, I had fun with it, but compared to where we started, it's just gotten a little bit silly. I am going to be lining up day one of Scream 7, don't get me wrong. I just felt it was very Scooby-Doo. Regardless of the reveal onwards, I still had fun with it. There were a lot of great settings, especially the subway setting with the lights flickering on and off. Some great cinematography. Again, sound design's on point. The score's on point. Everything is there. There's some nice throwbacks to the original Scream film and the other Scream sequels there onwards. But again, just felt like it missed the mark right at the end, and it was just too convoluted. So with that being said, I'm going to be giving Scream VI 3 rotten ghost face masks out of 5. So Ghouls and Ghoulettes, once you've seen Scream 6 in a spoiler-free way, please drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I'm currently working on the Ghostface Rotted Mask custom collectible. That is going to be up next week. With that being said, wherever you are in the world, please have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. I hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Be merry, be silly. And until next time, Ghouls and Ghoulettes, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.